I had my first episode of clinical depression in 1970 when I was 13 years old. It went undiagnosed. We did go to a pediatrician, but it went undiagnosed basically for 17 years. When I had done a lot of reading and realized that I probably needed to seek help from a counselor. In terms of this whole thing about stigma for people who have mental or emotional illness, I felt that. From the age of 13, I felt that there was something wrong with me in the sense of it wasn't a health issue, it was a character flaw. That if I were a strong person, if I were a good person, if I were a normal person, I wouldn't be experiencing this. I was raised in the Deep South in the Bible Belt, and when I tried to talk to my mother about what I was experiencing, she would say, well, just pray about it and it'll be okay. Well, I would pray about it, and I believe in prayer, but it didn't make the depression go away. And so then what added a layer onto that was, I'm not a good Christian, because if I were a good Christian, or I don't pray right, or God doesn't love me, or, you know, there was something else that it was my fault that I was experiencing this depression that at times could be paralyzing. The stigma was there, and I had difficulty talking with anybody about it. It was a secret. I think I've come a long way since then, and one of the things that a counselor said to me that really made a lot of difference was she talked to me about the fact that the type of depression I was experiencing was probably being caused by chemical imbalances in my brain, which meant I needed to be on medication to make those regular. She said, if you were diabetic and your system, your chemicals weren't working appropriately, and I told you you needed to be on insulin, you wouldn't feel guilty about that. You wouldn't feel like it needed to be a secret. You wouldn't feel like it made you a bad person, or that it was a character flaw, or that it was sinful, or that it's just your body is not producing the correct chemicals. And that was like a light bulb went off over my head. Unfortunately, I didn't hear that until I was about 35 years old. But it made all the difference in the world to me in terms of removing the stigma for myself. The thing that I would like to say to anybody who is struggling with emotional or mental illness, or anybody who is stigmatizing it, whether they're stigmatizing themselves or someone else, is that it isn't something we wish on ourselves. It isn't something that if we were just stronger or tougher. It's like any other health issue. You need to seek a physician's help and get the therapy and the help that you need.